Yeah, it actually, so I took a little time to kind of, as I watched your videos, I was trying to put down like similarities between Madden and FIFA. And in one video, you said you miss Madden from 5 years ago, and and that wasn't even that good.
Yeah,
That's literally how we all feel in the FIFA community. Like when we were playing 17, like it was the start of this competitive. EA really was trying to dive into competitive with their weekend league system. I don't know if you have something similar like that. You play 30 games in a weekend and try to compete, and then you work your way and play professional tournaments, basically.
hmm
So like yeah, that game was like it had a lot of flaws, but now looking back at it, like I missed that game. You talk about the yard, a 6v6 mode. We have something similar that they just introduced in FIFA Volta. It's indoor football basically. It's indoor soccer.
hmm
You talk about Frostbite engine, doesn't work for FIFA. It doesn't work for Madden. It definitely doesn't work for FIFA. You talked about games getting worse with patches. I think that's like the general consensus in the FIFA community. You talk about zero accountability. That's something I really wanted to get into. The reaction from the EA developers towards the Madden, ratings and all that. How do you feel about that? What does that make you think about the future of Madden?
it really sucks because the people who work on EA really give off the vibe that like they are they are satisfied with the product they're putting out, and people who dislike it are just haters. Like that's the vibe they give out. They make people like think that they're just like being so extra critical, and it's just a video game, and we're doing the best we can. Because they're man, it's just their attitude just it really sucks. You know, it doesn't seem like they want to embrace criticism, and it's just it makes you really like when you look at the future how is it going to get any better with that type of mindset?
Right. For Madden 21 specifically, with this whole pandemic situation going on, do you give them any leeway, I guess, in how
No,
poor the product has turned out?
not at
Why is
all.
that?
They charge $60 for the game.
Right. I'm
So
I just want to hear your opinion, but I agree with you, but I want to hear what you have to say because I get this argument so many times and I know it's going to happen this year where people are going to be like, "Oh, poor EA, they worked from home, blah blah blah." If they didn't think they could produce a game worth 80 or whatever, $60, then they shouldn't have produced one, Like it's that simple to me at least.
didn't Pez just drop a roster update like for half the
They
price?
sure did. They sure
Yeah.
did. They dropped it for $40. So like that's the other good argument. It's like PES knew that they were incapable of producing a new product with new features. So they said, you know what, guys? Honestly, we're gonna do an update. It's rosters. The way I see it is almost like a Kickstarter. Like I'm giving PES or Konami some money because I desperately need another competitor in the scene. And for me to throw $40 at Konami in hopes that they can make a quality game in 2022 is not really much of it's not much of an investment for me.
hmm
But Madden doesn't have a competitor yet, right?
Right.
Or are they?
I wish there was a
Yeah.
Pro Evolution football or something like that. Man.
Isn't 2K supposed to get into the space soon, or no?
2K got the license to non-simulation NFL games, and then they got the NFL Players Association rights, which I don't know if those have to be non-simulation, but most likely 2K's upcoming game is going to be like I don't know if you know what NBA Playgrounds is or the
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it. It was like an old
it's
school basketball game, right? Or like a arcadey basketball game, or
yes,
no?
it's like NBA Jam type of thing, like new age basketball, like arcade. It's basically it's going to be something like that. It's not going to be a Madden competitor. It's going to be like an arcade game because EA still has until 2026 the exclusive simulation rights.
That's so ridiculous. How can they hold? That seems like an absolutely ridiculous thing to hold on to. Like, how do you hold on the entire simulation
It
space?
sucks
What does
so
that even
much.
mean?
They don't even make a simulation football game. Like
Right.
everything they push is like the yard and all this non-simulation stuff. So they just hold the license hostage, so no one who wants that can get it.
That's something you said in your videos. You can't learn football through playing Madden, and I feel the same way. You can't learn soccer through playing FIFA. Why do you think you can't learn football through Madden?
Well, everything that happens in the game is just doesn't play out the way it would if you were watching an actual game. Like certain things are just impossible to even do that have been done in other games like 2K5, the one I always talk about. Like for example, in Madden when you throw a football, the ball doesn't arc. It just kind of goes in a straight line. So if you can't throw like a back shoulder pass like over the defender like to a receiver. Like if your receiver beats the defender, he's got like a step on him, and you try to lob that football, almost every time the defender's going to jump up and intercept it. When in real life you can make that throw where it's impossible to intercept, but they don't they just don't know how to code like ball trajectory. And that's just one example.
That sounds arcadey if you really think about it. I mean, arcadey is literally, basic controls, basic movements, basic stuff, right? But the enjoyment there is that it's like a well put together experience and it's balanced, right?
Yeah, Madden has always been, when there was competition, it's always been the most arcadey football game, because there was 2K, there was Game Day, there was Fever. All those games tried to be more realistic, more simulation. So it's just so ironic that EA is the company that got to make the exclusive simulation NFL game, because they have always been, even in their glory days, they were never a simulation NFL game. It's always been more arcadey than everyone else.